One. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode number 3. We're here with Jermey Orel in the segment
No.
of Jermey's World. Today we'll be talking about some NFL predictions and some unfortunate events that happened. We're also be talking about the NBA, as we love the NBA. Talking about the state of the NBA, and we approach the All-Star break. I can't wait. I can't wait for this episode.
Yep.
I can't wait. All
Let's
right.
get it cooking.
So, the NFL playoffs, one of the best times of the year in the NFL. A lot of great games happened over the weekend, but we'll go right into the games. The Detroit Lions, the first time they have won a playoff game in over 30 years. And they're at home in Detroit. Crazy. They beat Matthew Stafford. You know a lot about Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
And they're playing a familiar foe, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. Let Bake cook. It's time for Bake to cook. He looks like he found a new home in Tampa Bay, Florida. But it won't be sunny and it won't be beautiful in Detroit. It'll be cold, but they're playing indoors.
That is a great game. I want to actually watch. Heard CJ Gardner-Johnson had some words to say to Baker Mayfield prior to the game, saying he doesn't even know who he is. And I really do think Baker Mayfield will come out there and put on a show. I want the Buccaneers to win. Packers fan, obviously. So, looking at the Lions, but the Lions don't discourage the Lions, though. They have a great team in Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I do think the Buccaneers will take this W this week. Baker Mayfield, his offense this week, it was very simple to beat the Eagles. Their secondary is trash, but hey, they got it done. But I do think the Lions will be a tough deal, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson and his defense is not going to be stopping this Baker Mayfield offense.
See, I'm going with the Lions. One, the city's behind them. Michigan right now is at an all-time high with football. You saw the energy in the crowd with Detroit last week. It was at Ford Field. I'm gonna go with the Lions, man. I got so much faith. I think they have the better quarterback. I think they have the better everything on offense. Defense, yes, their secondary is garbage. They got baked last week against Matthew Stafford. But when it matters most, the boys in Detroit come to play.
They come up.
I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. They both dogs. But I don't know. Tampa Bay, I think they just played a bad Eagles team. They just played a bad Eagles team.
Yeah, I think if the Eagles, had the secondary they had last year, if they had, or they actually just played like how they were last year.
Or if they had a coaching staff.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni, the defensive coordinator, they worry too much about the security guard. They should actually be worrying about the on-field security. I feel as though if they had, a great defense, this team would definitely, the Eagles would be in the position right now where the Buccaneers are. And, I think that this Bucs team, they did play a terrible Eagles team, but Baker Mayfield, he has a lot to prove to us, fans watching at home. And I think he can get it done this week. Baker Mayfield, towards the postseason has definitely showed up. In the beginning, iffy, but hey, this team, missing some pieces. Chris Godwin filling in the shoes of Mike Evans. This is going to be a great team.
Yes, and Mike Evans is balling this year. Future Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Lions got that home field advantage. Goff been playing so well. He got that experience that Baker Mayfield does not have.
I think. Nah. I can't see it.
The Bucs
can't see it.
All they do is blitz. The Eagles did not blitz. They have the Lions will kill them. I'm giving you right now.
I can't see it because with Dan Snyder being a very aggressive coach, and he's very aggressive. We've seen it when they played against the Cowboys. Dan Campbell. He's very, very aggressive. We've seen it in the goal line against the Cowboys. In the Buccaneers, they play a very passive football game. The Bucs could definitely get this done. It's just Baker Mayfield needs to go back to how he is. Let the game come to him, And this is going to be a fire game for them to go. And they'll be playing against the winner of the 49ers and the Packers series. That's basically how it's going to go down. I do not see the Lions doing it. Lions maybe will be back next year, maybe farther, maybe in the next 5 years, but not this year is not their year. I do not see it happening.
Mm. Sounds a little NFC North talk, in my opinion. But
A little bit of bias.
I'm gonna go. There's no way in hell Baker Mayfield and them boys are gonna beat the Lions at their own place, and he's gonna be playing in the NFC Championship game. What is your score prediction? What do you think what is your score actual prediction?
Now I'm talking all this about the Bucks, making them look all good. But this is not going to be a blowout game. This is going to be a very close game. Might come down to a field goal, maybe one touchdown. Definitely see this being a 24-17 game.
Hmm.
Maybe 24-21.
I'm gonna go Lions 34-17. Their offense explodes. Mayfield
Come on now.
only
Oh, come on now.
they only
Come
scored
on now. Let's stop with that nonsense.
2 touchdowns and a field goal, and that touchdown will be a garbage time touchdown.
This defense is going to show you. This Buccaneer defense will come alive.
They only won 9 games. Moving on to another game. The Niners play the Green Bay Packers. Your Green Bay Packers. Jeremy is
Oh
a
yes.
huge Green Bay Packers fan.
Yep.
After they embarrassed the Dallas Cowboys last week, um, I'm not.
I have a lot to talk about
We know
this.
who
Yeah.
you're picking in this game, but let's keep it a little realistic now.
Okay. Well, no. I like to keep it realistic. First and foremost, we already know. The Packers are not even supposed to be here. Let's just get that off the way real quick. The
I do.
Packers are not even supposed to be here. We started off 2-what, 2-5, 2-6 in the beginning of the season. Everyone wrote us off in the beginning of the season. Wrote us off. Packers are not going. Jordan Love, yap yap yap. He's not the greatest. He's washed quarterback. This, that, and the other. That's what the whole talks were in the beginning of the season. Now we're in the postseason, and now we made our moves against the Cowboys. We're not playing for the chip right now. We're playing for our recognition in the league. Jordan Love is now going to be recognized as a top, in my opinion, top 10 quarterback right now in the league. I can name far more quarterbacks he's better than right now. Jordan Love is a top quarterback in this league, and look, the youngest team in the league. Now wait until they're going to get a great draft coming back up. They can even sign some more players. Personally, who else do they need? They can just develop who they have now. This team will be going. You see right now, they have a young core. This is a beautiful start. The beginning of the season for the Packers, we talked about Aaron Rodgers. What is the Packers going to look like? They lost Aaron Rodgers. They lost Alan Lazard, which was not even a really big thing. It's
Yeah,
Alan Lazard. Who cares about him? But we lose Aaron Rodgers.
Wait, he got them lizard hands. He can't catch.
He can't catch. But that was the talk in the beginning of the season was we lost Aaron Rodgers. What's now going to happen? Everybody's now thinking about that. No one's talking about Aaron Rodgers because Jordan Love stepped up to the plate. That's development. Look who the Packers have developed over the years. Brett Favre, Rodgers, Jordan Love. Jordan Love has been in great hands since the beginning of his time from leaving Utah State and joining Green Bay. This team, and maybe next year, will be going farther. Now, back to the original question. Will they beat the 49ers? Any team can be beaten on any given day. 49ers, though, this is a top team. We thought the 49ers were going to beat the Ravens. LaMarvelous, he showed up. I do think this game, if the Packers played like how they played, they went into Dallas with that mindset of we're going to kick their, you know what I'm saying? 49ers are going to be in for a treat. This could be a very close game. Now, I do think the 49ers will come up on top, but the Packers, they're going to give you guys a run for your money.
Now, I do agree with you with the young core. I do think the Packers have easily the best young core in the NFL. You know, with their receivers and Watson, Dobbs, Jane Reed, Octavius Wicks, even with Musgrave and Tucker Craft. I enjoy Love. Dude's been balling all season. He's been balling ever
Mm-hmm.
since they won that bye week. He's been killing teams, killing folks.
Hmm.
This is an exciting time to be a Packers fan, to be even be in this position. Um, After the long off seasons that they've had the past few years with Aaron Rodgers and his little darkness retreats, um, and going on Pat McAfee's show. This is honestly this is a great time to be a Packers fan. Um, they're going to be a dangerous team for the years to come.
Very
Now,
much.
what I'm really concerned with is the defense. Now, I just think they're badly
Yeah.
coached. But if they can also get some guys younger there, you know,
Headley coach.
yeah,
Oh, yes. I agree. First things first on my rant. Joe Barry needs to go. He fucking sucks. Oh, excuse my language on national television, but hey, he sucks. Joe Barry is trash. He needs to be sent to Taiwan. Pack your bags. That's the first order of business this offseason this Packers organization needs to get done is Joe Barry. I can name countless occasions Joe Barry as a defensive coordinator does not know what he's doing in the booth. Prime example against the Giants. We need to hold a field goal. Tommy Cutlets walked down that field in under 45 seconds. And what
embarrassing.
are we doing? We got to hold a field goal. We can't let them get to the 45. What does he decide to do? Hey, let's run 15 yards back. Zone. No. What are we doing? This is what I'm talking about. The Carolina Panthers. We should have lost that game too against Bryce Young. What did he do? Let's play back again. We need to stop playing prevent. Joe Barry needs to go. That is a guy who cannot stay for this team, and it's going to hold this team back. And another talks is Jair Alexander. He might be going after this season too. So, with the looks of how the Packers secondary is going to look without Jair because of his
Very young.
personal disagreement, yeah, it's gonna be bad if the Packers don't trade Jair and just let him go. This defense is going to look very lackluster next season, and I think I'm hoping in hopes the Packers don't let go of Jair. You know, I know the personal disagreements with the coin flip and things outside the organization. That stuff we don't know about, but that's a big piece you're losing if Jair leaves.
Now, going back, I agree. I agree with everything you said there. But going back to the game and what I think, I think the Packers are going to score some points. I think they're going to show up with something to prove. But that 49ers team is too good for them. I'm going
It's
thirty-eight
it's
49 is going to score. This is what's going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen. It's going to be closer than what people expect it to be. It will be
I
close.
do think so.
It will be close. But in the second half, I think the 49ers will just pull away. They're going to pull away. They're going to play because I think you can't sleep on this Packers team. You can't because they're young. They can get you now. Dallas, I think
Hmm.
what Dallas did, they overestimated how good they were because they were a young team who just snuck into the playoffs. But
Yep.
I do think that the 49ers are not going to sleep on them. And plus, the 49ers have had the recent success against the Packers in the postseason. So I'm going to go 49ers 38-20. What's your score prediction?
You know, I definitely agree with what you said. You know, they're going to come out towards the second half. You know, it's going to be close in the first. What I'm thinking is though is Jordan Love is just going to do Jordan Love things. He's going to have that connection with Romeo Dobbs very early, and you know, Aaron Jones is out to hunt right now. He's out to hunt, and this offense will get clicking. Only problem I see now with it is the defense. You know, stopping
Defense is
CMC,
going to get
and I think yeah, that's the only thing I have problems with, and I know CMC will come alive towards the second half. You know, maybe the first half they.
also Brandon
Hmm.
Ayuk, also George
Yeah,
Kittle.
that's the thing is they're gonna get that stopped in the first half. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be like how the Commanders did it. The Commanders they came out and stopped the 49ers in the first, and they lost it in the second. You know, and I think that's how if the Commanders can do it, I think the Packers can do it. But in the second half, it might go towards the 49ers. But I'm gonna go for the upset because I'm a Packers fan, and I do believe it's gonna be a very close game. A lot of touchdowns. Beware. 38-35 field goal at the end.
Now, if the Packers want to win this game against the 49ers, they have to be able to create turnovers as well. Because,
Hmm.
if you can win the turnover battle, you can win any game. But, you know, it's the 49ers, man. I just don't
The
see.
Kyle Shanahan offensive schemes
Yeah,
is just absolutely, he's a master. He's a mastermind with
yeah,
the offensive schemes. And I think Joe Barry needs to get his head out the clouds. And this is a game you have to win. If the Packers can end up winning this game, not only will this be one of the biggest upsets probably in Packer history, in the Packers franchise, this is going to be this is a whole turnaround in the franchise who just went through a huge dramatic escalate over the past offseason with Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be huge, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
yeah. I'm gonna go 49ers 38-20. uh,
38-35 field goal. Mark my words.
moving on to the AFC games. You know, the Texans, the Houston Texans, travel up to play the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have had a week off. They've had the number one. They have the number one seed. They had the bye week. But those Texans, man, that young team as well, they're balling. C.J. Stroud,
Mm-hmm.
another really good young quarterback who is a rookie, in my opinion, is having arguably one of the greatest rookie quarterbacks
Rookie of the year.
I've ever seen. Who do you
Rookie of the year.
what is your predictions for this game?
This is looking like another Packers matchup again. CJ Stroud, Jordan Love had the same exact identical game. They only missed 4 completions. I think it was 4 or 3. What was it? 4 or 3, 3 touchdowns as well. Identical game. Honestly, it's just the same situation that they're in. I'm honestly pulling away for the Texans to win this game. But then again, you're going against one of the best AFC offenses in the league, and you're going against almost the league MVP, Lamar Jackson. Um, Personally, I want the Texans to take this W. But then again, statistically, it's going to definitely be the Ravens who are going to come out with this. I mean, Lamar Jackson clicking on front. You got just this entire team. Zay Flowers. This team. Patrick Queen and Raekwon Smith. You got this great defense. This Ravens team is not to be played with, and the Texans don't get it wrong. The Texans are really great, but this Ravens team is a next level team, and I definitely think they can go all the way. And I'm taking the Ravens, and it's not going to be a blowout by any sense, but it will be over a 2 touchdown game, maybe 28-17 is going to be the final score.
Um, I agree. I think honestly, the Texans and the Ravens, it's going to be a close game. I think that C.J. Stroud. This is almost like kind of like a Cincinnati Bengals 2 years ago when they were also a young team who hadn't been in the playoffs in a long time. They had a young quarterback
Mm-hmm.
playing really well who can make that run. They can make that run. But I think it's going to be close because CJ Stroud's been really really good. My only problem is that they have like nobody to throw to. The only receivers out there is catching
Mm-hmm.
passes is Nico Collins and like the
Yep.
ends, Reverend Jordan who had that 80-yard touchdown, and Dalton Schultz who
You
blocked
don't
the
got
player.
yep. You
Um,
don't, you
but
don't got that Nick on that Tank Dell, which is you're really missing that great Tank Dell action out there.
exactly. So honestly, it's going to be close because I think CJ's going to play really well once again. He's built for the moment. He thrives under pressure. He's not phased. It's going to be close, but I do think this is the Ravens' year. This is the Ravens' year, in my opinion. The Ravens have played
Mm-hmm.
so well this year. They've been beating up on teams. I mean, you saw what they did against the Dolphins. Oh my gosh, and the Niners back to back weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and honestly, I really do think that the Ravens are going to win this game. It's going to be close. It's going to be close because I think the Ravens are going to fall back on that bye week where they haven't played in a week, and then chemistry will be off a little bit. But I do
Mm-hmm.
think that the Ravens are going to pull away. They have the better quarterback, they have the better offense, they have the better defense, they have the better team. I think the Ravens will win 24-17. Um, and I think they're going to go into the AFC Championship game. I think this is the year for the Ravens. I know 4 years ago they got against Tennessee. I just don't think that's going to happen this year.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. Um, and yeah, so we both agree that the Ravens won this game. But the game of really the week, in my opinion, this
Oh,
last
you already know.
the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Buffalo
Mm-hmm.
Bills in Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, in our Orchard Park. This is the first time Patrick Mahomes will be on the road this year in his
Hmm.
will be on the road for the first time in his NFL career on in the playoffs against his familiar foe, Josh Allen and those Buffalo
Yep.
Bills. This is to me, in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. This is the new Manning and Brady rivalry. Every
Yep.
time these two teams play, it's always a instant classic of an ending.
Yep. And well, we got an instant classic last time with Kadarius Tony. I mean, I want to see another one of
Yes.
those.
And this time,
I think.
like I feel like every time the Chiefs and Bills play, it's always in Buffalo. But I mean, it's always in Kansas
Mhm.
City.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
year, it'll finally be in Buffalo. What are your predictions for this game?
Well, I got my New Year's. I got my resolution. In the regular season to see actually Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes, but I kind of want to see it in the playoffs this year.
Mm.
We've seen multiple times Patrick Mahomes beating Josh Allen in the playoffs. We've seen Travis Kelsey, overtime. The overtime rule was actually instated because of that game. We saw Patrick Mahomes walk down the field and find Travis Kelsey, sent Josh Allen home. I mean, we always see Josh Allen in these kind of games and the Buffalo Bills. They go home. The emphatic, Stephon Diggs pick, watching the Chiefs celebrate going to the Super Bowl. I mean, we see all these things of Josh Allen and the Bills losing, and we see the Chiefs always succeeding. This year, we're now in Buffalo. Bills Mafia showing up. This is the year the Josh Allen can really change the script and now say they beat the Chiefs twice. And I mean they won last time, with the Kadarius Tony stunt, him going off sides about 14 times throughout the game. And they all thought they lost because the lateral, but hey, this is now a new game. That game right there, you throw it out the window if you're the Chiefs, you completely forget about that. And so do the Bills. This is a fresh game. This is now the playoffs we're talking about. And I do think that the Bills will come out with this W. I mean, Bills Mafia is stronger this year. I mean, the Chiefs are still going through some issues. I mean, I really don't want to see Taylor Swift in attendance, but she's going to be there, and I definitely think the Bills will win. But this is going to be a very high scoring game. Why do I say this? Defense, throw that out the window. This is going to be all offense, and it's going to be very cold. And I think this is going to be about another field goal, come down to the wire, maybe overtime game. It's going to be 35-38. Again, I'm going with that score again.
When I look at these two teams, the Bills, about a month ago, 2 months ago, they were 7-6, coming off losing to my Eagles, and after that, they did not lose a single game after that. Now the Chiefs they haven't had the year that they normally have, which is kill everybody on offense. But this year,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like it's flipped the script. Their defense has been elite this year. Elite. Their defensive line has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Their linebackers have been really good, and their secondary is easily one of the best in the NFL. L'Jarius Sneed absolutely locking
Mm-hmm.
down Tyreek Hill. Did you see that jam he did on him? He said
Oh, that jam was crazy.
he said he jammed.
Jammed him into Cancun. Mm-hmm.
I mean, my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, but it feels like the Chiefs have honestly the recipe of success to go to the Super Bowl. Now, how do teams win a championship? By defense, right? Now, you win championships on defense. Not to mention the Chiefs also have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid
But
and
that's the thing that I don't see though. The defense can show up, but can Patrick Mahomes and this offense show up though?
right. And here's the thing is, right? Now I've talked about the Chiefs' offensive issues before, and I don't think it'll ever go away. I do think that what they should do in the offseason is go out and find a receiver because these receivers aren't
Mm-hmm.
they're terrible. They're awful. They have hands like feet. They have bricks for hands. They can't catch anything.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, but they do have the recipe to make a Super Bowl. They have the elite defense. They have one of the best coaches in the NFL, and they have two Hall of Famers. And they have a good running game. Pacheco, that man he runs so
Mm-hmm.
hard that you look like he's about to run through Legos. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, but I can't deny the Buffalo Bills this year. I know Josh Allen wants to flip the script. I know he wants to win this game badly because he's had some, unfortunate losses. But he's going to go to the Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes. I think the Bills will have the home field advantage because one, they're in Buffalo. Two, I mean, it doesn't. The weather's not going to really affect both teams because both teams play in
Yeah.
extremely cold weather. But
Hmm.
honestly, I think this is the Bills' year. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen's been playing so well. If he can play clean football, doesn't turn over the ball, and the Chiefs can force some turnovers, but if Josh Allen, if they play clean football all game, the Bills can win this game. They can win this game.
Oh, hmm, I definitely agree with you 100%. Um, I look at the Chiefs, and one reason why I don't see the Chiefs winning this game is, like you said, the receiving core is just not there. I mean, okay, they got Rice out there, a rookie who's
Shane
having a
Rice
he had a great game.
he's good.
He had a great game. He had a great game, but when he's not clicking with Mahomes out there, your next target is Travis Kelsey, and they're gonna double Travis. That's already there to come. He's getting doubled. So who's next on your list? Kadarius Toney's not an option. He's not an option. There's no other receivers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, you want to throw to him? He's
He's
not catching that ball.
he's trash.
I mean,
Montez
you have
can't.
all these guys. He can't catch. So, you look at all these guys down this receiving core. Mahomes has every right to be upset, because he has no one to throw to. Now it's now the Pacheco run game. And now this is making it so much easier for the defensive coordinators, hey, okay, this is going to be a Pacheco kind of game and just keep, preventing Travis Kelsey and, Rice to get the ball. And that's why I just don't see the Chiefs, offense doing that. They don't have receivers like they had last year. They don't have receivers like Tyreek Hill. They don't have bailout receivers who's ready for the check down like Juju Smith-Schuster. They
The
don't have it.
the question is, do they need to score a lot of points though? They don't. The question is, do they need to score a lot of points for them to win a game? Because this year they haven't need some of the games they don't need to score a lot of points because their defense has been really good.
But when the defense gets the stop, they need to execute because the defense can get a stop,
Mm.
but can the offense execute? And if this is going to be a defensive stop and then another three and out, your defense is going to keep going on the field and they're going to tire themselves out before halftime. So you could stop the Bills all day long. That's cool, but Mahomes needs to execute. And if they're just going to go three and out, punt the football back, that defense is going to be winded by third quarter.
I
That's how it's just going to be.
I agree. I think it's going to be a lot. The score is going to be a lot lower than people expect because I know these are the two best quarterbacks in the league. I think it's going to be a lot closer because of that Buffalo weather. But the Bills,
Mm-hmm.
they're used to it, and I don't think it's going to affect Kansas City a lot either because they play in extreme inclement weathers all the time.
This is what they played in negative 33, something like that this week.
Yeah, and the
Steaming.
Bills game had to be postponed because of the snow. It was so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But so we have Buffalo and Baltimore, and you have the Bucks and the Niners, or the Bucks and the Packers. I have
Yep.
the Lions and the Niners, and we both have the Bills and the Ravens. Who do you think is going to win the Bills and Ravens game? Bills Ravens.
Bills and Ravens game.
Yeah.
That's another great game that I love to watch. And the Raven. Well, it's going to be Ravens home field advantage. I mean, definitely the Ravens are coming out with that W. We're playing in the bank right now. We're playing in the bank. We're in Baltimore. We're in the Ravens flock. Lamar Jackson has torn up this Buffalo defense before. You just have Zay Flowers out there who is just a Zay Flowers is just a guy I love to watch. And OBJ, he's had a not a crazy season, but he's out there doing his thing. And his defense is just elite. Now don't get it wrong. Buffalo is a team to watch out for, but it's just gonna be the Ravens. And I think this is a game where it's gonna be a blowout that this Ravens defense will stop, Josh Allen, and he's just not clicking. And I think this game will be maybe 28-10.
2010. Wow. I'm gonna go. I think this game is going down to the wire, like literal, like last possession type of game. Because I think Josh Allen is easily like the best player on the team, and the Ravens going to score a lot of points, but I think the Bills are going to score a lot of points as well. You know, the Bills are playing with extreme fire, extreme passion, extreme grit. Um, but I think this game is going to be like one of those high key, like one of those thrillers of an AFC Championship game. Uh,
Hmm.
and I would have to go. This is kind of a toss up for me because I do see both teams potentially winning this game, but I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Um, I know the AFC Championship game is not here yet, but a lot could happen. A lot could happen. The Ravens could lose. But
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think honestly, Lamar. I think it's their year. I think that it's just their year. I think it's just their year.
Hmm.
They've been waiting for this year for a while, and so has Buffalo. So has Buffalo. They've had a lot of playoff heartbreaks over the past few years. Um,
Yep.
but I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'm gonna go with the Ravens in a close game. Now, this one, your prediction for the NFC is pretty crazy. The Bucks and the Lions. No, the Bucks and the Packers. I just don't see that happening. But
I definitely see. I just don't see the Lions taking this W. But
I just think it's
I
crazy
mean,
that you have the Buccaneers and the Packers in the NFC Championship game.
yep. See, this is where I see this game going. We've seen it in the regular season. Yeah, the Bucks beat the Packers in the regular season. Baker Mayfield absolutely
They're not.
turned into
They killed them offensively.
Oh yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it. He definitely got his endorsements back. He's not living in the stadium anymore. Anyways, I definitely see this is a Jordan Love game written over it. Make sure you get this camera signed and everything. Jordan Love will not only walk in, they're going to be playing where? Probably in Green Bay.
No, they're going to
We're
be
in Lambeau.
Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. They're going to be playing Tampa.
Oh, and that's even better. Even better. Even better. We're now in the mid. It's not hot, but it's not cold. We're like what? Playing in like the high 60s. Cool. So there's no really advantage to it with it either. Jordan Love is going to walk into the stadium. He's going to walk in as a business trip, and he will come into the stadium and walk out with a trophy in his hand and a ticket to Las Vegas because he's going to the Super Bowl. This is going to be also Aaron Jones is going to come in with the big sombrero, and he's going to run all through Levante Davis and through this entire Buccaneers defense because this is what the Packers do. The Packers come out in the NFC Championship. Now we've seen in the past they have choked. Looking at the Seahawks, and looking before, I mean, last time they played the Buccaneers, they lost, because of Kevin King, and that's the Tom Brady era. But this is the Packers game right here. Going to be close. Say 24-21, Packers winning the field goal.
Now, if the Buccaneers were to play the Packers, I would go with the Buccaneers strictly because the Buccaneers have a better defense and they're better coached defensively against the Packers. But there is no way, and on God's green earth, that game will happen. I would go with there is no way that's happening. There's no way. There's no way that there's no way. I had the Lions and 49ers. Listen, folks, please do not listen to his Packers bias. It's just not going to happen. The Lions,
No, this is going to happen. Because look, listen here. Listen here. The Packers are capable enough of beating this 49ers team. Very capable. With especially this young core. Wait till they get an actual developed core. They'll beat the hell out of this 49ers team. What player on the Lions right now? What I just don't see the Lions taking on this 49ers team
they have
and
the better
beating them.
quarterback. They have the better quarterback.
So you can have a better quarterback. So the Buccaneers have a better secondary.
Okay.
This line secondary sucks.
Yes. Okay. Okay. The
So so
Buccaneers have a better defense, but
so
the
so
Lions
the,
have
so,
better offense.
so we have the Bucks have a good defense. Think about it. Think about it. If you guys have a trash secondary and Baker Mayfield is just gonna throw all through your secondary, y'all could have a good quarterback, but how are you going to have a good quarterback throwing through an elite secondary? That just doesn't happen.
I agree. I
It's going to be
agree
a long day for him.
with the Lions secondary being bad. I agree with you with that.
But
But
it's going to be a long day for them. C.J. Gardner Johnson will be going home. He
look,
will be going home.
I agree. I agree with you that the Buccaneers I mean, the Lions have a bad secondary. Yes, their defense in general is not that amazing. look, they've gotten torched by your boy Jordan Love. They've gotten torched by a couple of
Mm-hmm.
teams, by Justin Fields and them boys. They have, but the Lions have a significantly better offense than the Buccaneers. They have the better quarterback,
They could have a
the better
yeah.
running.
Okay.
They have the better offensive line. The Buccaneers receivers are better, but the Lions receivers play with grit. Amon Ra is a dog. He is a dog.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dog.
And
And no,
I'm not discouraging him.
wait, hold on. Not to mention my boy Sam Laporta, where he hyperextended his knee in the final game of the season, came back and scored a touchdown. Don't forget about Sam
Hey,
Laporta.
hey, we're not discouraging him, but he's going against an elite defense. The Lions' defense is so lackluster. Baker Mayfield's just gonna throw the ball up and hope someone's open, and someone will be open.
Mm.
Then you have to look to throw. You just throw the ball up. Oh, they're out there somewhere. They'll catch it. That's how bad that secondary is, and that's gonna be a touchdown, Chris Godwin. Give me a
The,
touchdown.
the reason why I also think the Lions have a significant advantage. You're forgetting they play at home, and you're not forgetting that Baker Mayfield has never been in a type of situation like this before. Yeah, he's played.
So is Jordan Love. Jordan Love played in Detroit. Thanksgiving game.
Not
Thanksgiving game.
not just Detroit. I'm talking about like the situation. Like he's never been like a playoff game with stakes on the line where he's like
Half that Lions team hasn't even been there except Jared Goff.
Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl. He's
I
been
know, but that's what I'm saying. Only him on that team and C.J. Gardner-Johnson are literally the only people I can think of on that team who've been this far in the playoffs.
You're right.
No one else.
You're right.
That damn near the whole Buccaneers team has been farther than them.
I agree. But nonetheless, the quarterback position is the
Mhm.
most valuable position in the game. And
Who cares about the value? No one cares about the valuability
Baker
if they can't throw them.
Baker Mayfield has never been in this type of game before. He's only been in it one time against the Kansas City Chiefs 3 years ago, but he's never been in the state of Detroit.
Well, let me tell you something.
And
Let me tell you something. Hold on, but you can let's look at the two quarterbacks this year. C.J. Stroud, never been here before. What did he do? He went to Cleveland and destroyed Joe Flacco.
Mm.
Never been there before. Look at Jordan Love. Went down to Fort Worth, Texas. Dallas? And beat the hell out of the Cowboys.
Right.
Baker Mayfield can do the same thing, and he's more experienced. Baker's been in the league more. We saw what Baker did in his first game as a Los Angeles Ram. Scored the game-winning touchdown.
And
He's
took the Rams to the Super Bowl.
And did they win? Did they win?
Huh?
Did they win?
No, yes.
Did they win?
But he
Okay.
played
Okay.
in the Super Bowl before.
Okay. Did they win? Did they win?
With the
Did they win? Didn't they get blown out that year?
Huh?
Didn't they get blown out? I'm pretty sure they got blown out that year.
That year, the Super Bowl, they only scored 3 points, and the other team scored 30.
I know that. I'm pretty sure they got blown out. Jared Goff, no, please.
Jared Goff has
the number one receiver was Van Jefferson. Please.
He's been in these games before. He has shown up many times. When you need 16 will deliver. Give me them boys in blue.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Because look right here, Buccaneers. This secondary is going to show Jared Goff why he doesn't deserve to be here right now. This Lions team, don't disrespect. I mean, I'm a Packers fan. This sounds very biased. They're a great team, but this is not their year. Baker Mayfield in this defense will stop this team, and they will be going back home to Tampa to face on the Packers. Maybe the 49ers. They will be facing either of those two teams. I hope the Packers are going to come out with that W, but more than likely it's going to be San Francisco, and San Francisco will just beat them. But look, the secondary. What is Jared Goff going to do against one of the best secondaries in the league? This is one of the best secondaries in the league that he's going against.
That's why Wayfield's a dog. I agree, but
he's going.
Nonetheless, the Lions. I just think that they got the city on their side. Michigan is at an all-time.
They could have the whole state on their side. They're not winning this game.
I just think they're gonna win. I think,
they can have the whole country. They ain't winning this game.
Going back to Going back to what I thought, I think the Lions will play the Niners. Yeah, give them the Niners. This is where the Lions playoff run ends right here. I don't think they have enough to beat
in this
the
week.
Niners. Um, they're an elite team, so my Super Bowl pick is the most obvious pick. I could go Bills Niners, but I'm gonna go Ravens Niners. I think those two teams are gonna rematch from the Christmas Day game. Um, and you have the Packers and the Ravens, which is crazy. I don't even want to discuss the predictions of that game because I just think
I
my
can discuss.
wow, my ears will just
Here
like
we go. Here we go.
load.
It's actually very realistic. It's actually a very realistic debate.
He's gonna say the Packers will win this game.
No, I actually was not going to say that, but since you said that, I'm obligated to say that now. Packers will win the Super. No, but basically, Lamar Jackson, it's his year, but I hate to break it to you, Jordan Love, just him. This game's going to overtime, but
Overtime, overtime, overtime.
yes, yes, overtime. It came out of my mouth. Ravens, Packers, overtime. Ravens will come out with the W, Super Bowl champions. It will then start the Jordan Love villain arc, and then next year he'll become leading MVP, and then the Packers win the Super Bowl.
If
That's
that's
how it's going to go. I'm keep
listen,
calling
I'm not picking that Super Bowl to happen, but if that were going to happen, the Ravens would kill them 45-10.
it. Let's be real, but that will start the Jordan Love villain arc, and then he will become league MVP next year, and then they will win the Super Bowl.
These Packers fans. We going on, moving on.
Oh, let's not start with the Eagles.
You
Eagles fans, th're very delusional. Oh, we're 10-1. We're 10-1. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're
know
going to
what?
the Super Bowl.
You can
Eliminated by the Bucks.
you know what?
Baker Mayfield.
We're moving on to the to a new discussion, new topic here. Moving on to a different league, the NBA. There's been some interesting. There's been some interesting topics and storylines and interesting teams that are happening right now. Now, I want to talk about one team that made a big time splash before the season even started. Literally weeks before the season started. The Buccaneers, the Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks. Um,
Yes.
they traded for
Oh, that's a team I love to talk about.
they traded for
Mm-hmm.
Damian Lillard, and they fired. Which I don't understand this. They fired Mike Budenholzer, which I didn't understand why they fired him, but they fired him and they hired Adrian Griffin, and they also traded away Drew Holiday to the Celtics, and a couple other role players, Grayson Allen and someone else. But and honestly, the Bucks defense looks horrible, garbage,
Trash. They've
garbage.
been, they've been trash.
I
Yeah.
honestly, me personally, I don't care that they beat the Celtics by 40 because the Celtics won a back to back against Minnesota in double overtime, and the Bucks defense just looks absolutely terrible. Adrian Griffin doesn't look like he doesn't know what he's doing, and I think they made a mistake in firing Mike Budenholzer because Mike Budenholzer has always prioritized defense, a defensive oriented team, and that's why they were so good last year. I think the only reason why they fired him was because they lost to an eighth seed, but that eighth seed went to the finals. Now,
Yeah.
the Bucks, honestly, I don't think they're going to beat the Celtics at all this year in a playoff series at all. But what do you have to say about the Bucks defense and their team right now?
Well, let me say a thing about the Bucks defense. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I think this is also doesn't go for the fact of who's running the point guard position right now. They're not just losing defensively; they're losing offensively as well. Damian Lillard, that's who I want to talk about. He's shooting 42% this season. Damian Lillard shoots in the high in the 52s, but shooting 42% from the field, 9 of 23, 9 of 19,
Right, right.
shooting 5 of 23. That is completely unacceptable from an all-star. That's unacceptable. And you're jacking up all these shots, 3 of 16 against Indiana. That is unacceptable to play as from an elite all-star position. They came out saying Damian Lillard, is homesick. His kids still live in Portland, his kids can't come to the game, he's homesick. Understandable. But coming out there and shooting 5 of 23, and if that was the case before, why even go to Milwaukee? Why do that? Why not just stay in Portland? But again, Portland organization, they want young players. They don't want to trade for big time players like Durant and Giannis. They don't want that. They want to start young and develop. That's how Portland started, and that's how they're gonna always be. So it's that the defense is a huge problem, and you're completely right about the coaching staff, how they work, a defensive oriented team, and trading away Drew Holiday, that was your primary perimeter guard. That's who was setting the tone, and then you had Giannis down there and Brook Lopez, setting that tone. Even you had Bobby Portis defensively doing his thing, but now you have Damian Lillard, who's not known as a defensive guard. He is not. He's known to just go down and drill a three and look at his watch and time the game. No, you've seen that one time this season, and they want to post all about that on Instagram. Where's the post about him doing 5 of 23? Where's the post about those 3 of 16 nights? Where are those at? This year is not the Bucks year. This will be an early exit team. Okay, they're 26-12 right now. Okay, they're the second team in the East. They're not going that far. And I've been called this since the trade happened. Everyone talking about Damian Lillard and Giannis teaming up. This is not a team for the playoffs. This is not going to be another Bucks run, 2021 run. This is not it. And I can have a complete different discussion. They shouldn't even have won that chip. When they played against Brooklyn, Kevin Durant himself almost won that series. Too bad his foot is 2 inches longer than what it is.
Well, what's interesting, what's crazy is like I think you're completely right. I think honestly, Dame has been he's trying to find his role to like sit back because he's never had to be the number two guy on his team. He's always number
Mm-hmm.
one. He was always number one in Portland. Always had to score a lot of points. Always had to carry them. But honestly, yeah, I do agree. I don't think they're gonna go. I do think honestly their offense and with Dame and Giannis is easily best duo in the league. That's not even a question. If they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, they're gonna go. I think they're gonna go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I do think that Philly. I think that Philly will give them their toughest challenge. I do think Philly could beat them, but I don't because I think the Bucks just have a better duo. Um, but Milwaukee's not going to the finals this year. We know that. Milwaukee's not beating.
I definitely, yep.
We know that. And Milwaukee could very
I don't
much
see it.
lose to one of these in the first round. They could lose to Orlando. If they play
I can see them losing to the Pacers.
Indiana
Mm-hmm.
owns them. Did you see what Tyrese
I can
Halliburton
see
did
that.
to them in the in-season tournament?
Him. He's him.
Even on Christmas Day, when they played the Knicks and
Mm-hmm.
MSG, the Bucks
Mm-hmm.
previously have owned
Yep.
the Knicks in MSG,
And that's the thing.
and
Yep.
Brunson
I mean,
killed
I know a lot of Milwaukee fans, Bucks fans who texted me. I texted them, oh, this Damian Lillard trade's not. They laughed at me. They laughed at me saying, you're delusional. The Thunder suck. Why just worry about your own team? Look at them now. They're not going that far.
them.
Don't let the 26-12 record blind you. This is a first round exit team, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going that far.
I do. Yeah, I think I don't know if they're first round exit, but I do think that one of these teams could get them. Like I think if Indiana plays them, they could get them. I think if Miami plays
Mm-hmm.
them, they could get them. Like I really think that um, if you have a good guard, they're gonna because Dame can't play defense. Play doesn't play defense.
Damn.
And when
Yes, and he lets them walk by. Yeah.
yeah, when they trade away Drew Holiday, these point guards and these younger talented guards have killed Dame. Like Tyrese Halliburton
Mm-hmm.
owns them.
That's something that they need to do. And that's another thing that they
Bucks.
need to incorporate is adding more physical guards. You have a roster spot being wasted right now with Thassis Acampo. What does he
Oh
do?
my god!
Hype up his brother?
He did you
He's just there.
did you see the photo that Dame and the Bucks posted, the group photo of them doing the Dame time celebration and showing the
And
watches?
he's in the front. And he's in the front.
He couldn't even do that right. Dude was like this. He was like couldn't even do that right. He couldn't even do that right.
That
I
that
think
is a roster spot that needs to be changed.
he is a nice locker room guy and a bench guy that I would have on my team. Nice and all, but dag man, he's so corny. He's so
Mm.
corny. Like man, it's just so
He
corny.
needs to,
But
me personally, he needs to go. He needs to go.
the
He needs to,
Bucks,
you're wasting a spot.
they what they had the price of getting Damian Lillard is the best duo in the NBA, but also their defense has lacked significantly.
He needs
Um,
to do what Russell Westbrook has done. Take time to find your role. He needs
uh,
to find his role.
yeah,
And they need to do it. They need to do it rather sooner than later. And what
mm,
I mean by that, before the All Star break. All Star break is when he needs to find that role. If he can't find it, if he finds it after the All Star break, it's way too late. It's too late. It's way too late.
I agree. Now another team that's even in worse disarray. Well, the Bucks have a winning record. They're number two team in the Eastern Conference, but the Warriors, my God,
Oh,
they
that's,
just look.
I have a lot to talk about there. Mm.
The Warriors,
When you
in my
when you
opinion,
think of the NBA, you think of who do you think of when you just want to talk about basketball now? You could talk about basketball in the 90s, in the early 2000s, talk about in the early 2010s, but who do you think of? There's only one person you could. There's maybe two people, obviously two people you could think of when someone says the NBA.
mm,
Who's the two people?
back then
LeBron and Steph Curry.
or this year, oh yeah,
No, in
the generation
like
LeBron,
in our generation,
yes, yes,
LeBron and Steph Curry. When it's kind of very sad when you don't even see the Warriors in a play-in spot in the league. When you look at the standings, you don't even see the Warriors in a play-in spot. The Warriors last year were in the playoffs. The Warriors, I've seen this, like all dynasties, they fall. We've seen it before. The Heat, the Celtics, the Rockets. We've seen them all. The Thunder. We've seen the Lakers. We've seen all these dynasties fall. And where the Warriors dynasty fell is when Kevin Durant left. That's when the dynasty fell. Okay, yeah, they won a championship in 2021, with the 2021-2022 season. Yeah, they won a champ there.
mm,
That's cool. But that's where it fell. And why did it fall? Is because Draymond Green was the problem.
yeah,
Durant was never the problem. Everyone put the blame to Durant. Everyone said Durant was the problem. He was never the problem. The guy you need to be pointing your fingers at is Draymond Green. Yes, he's a great teammate. I'm not bashing. We're not here to bash Draymond though. Draymond is a great teammate. Draymond is he's very helpful in probably one of your worst enemies. But that's the problem right there. Reason the downfall. Durant left. Jordan Poole, inconsistent, not really that great. But Jordan Poole was a great help in that playoff run. Locker room tensions. And apparently, just more things than that coming out. And now this season, you see Klay Thompson is a plumber. He's trash.
gosh,
Klay Thompson's so trash this year. And now who's next to help Steph Curry? Who's helping Steph Curry now? Because you
nobody,
don't got anyone else. Exactly. Steph Curry can't do it all. He can't walk out there and drop 45 and the Warriors win.
right?
That's not possible. It's not possible at all. And the Warriors, I mean, they're 18 and 22. It's just Klay Thompson needs to get a grip, and might get traded. So
What
it's very sad to hear this.
the Warriors need to do is they need to blow it up, and they need to trade Clay. They need to trade Draymond, and they just need to blow up the older guys because one of the people that I actually like 100 I give most of the blame to is Steve Kerr because Steve Kerr has held on his ties and relationship to these older guys and the vets and Draymond and Clay. Like they're not the players they used to be. And they had the young core when they won the championship 2 years ago. That those young guys, or even 3 years ago, they had the young core where when Stephen Clay and Draymond, when it was their time to take a step back, they had the core to rise up and take their spot now. Like honestly,
Very fact.
Steve Kerr did a horrible job in developing these guys. Jordan Poole, I mean, Jordan Poole was the only one who was really developed, but his relationship and his tenure and his play was so down because Draymond punched him in the face, and he didn't even want to play anymore. I think
Even then, he was inconsistent.
right, and who Kuminga was a lottery pick, and Moses Moody, they were both lottery picks, and they just were terrible. They
You're
look good.
forgetting also James Wiseman. James Wiseman.
Gosh, he was
Mm-hmm.
yes, and Kuminga was honestly I thought he was gonna be I thought he was really good. But just the development that Steve Kerr did not trust and faith in these guys is one of the reasons why they're
Yes.
not that good. And honestly, I think if Clay were to be traded, I think he should be. One team I can
Excuse me.
see him going to. I see him going to the Sixers.
Sixers.
I think
See,
I think Clay would benefit playing alongside Joe and Tyrese. He'd be all he has to do is just figure out his shot. Figure out his shot. Be a spot up wing shooter. Spread the floor, and they would be even more of a deadlier team.
so
Their offense would be even more of a deadlier team than they are right now.
so you're talking more of a JJ Redick kind of style of a Sixers player, and I can see that happening one of two ways. And I want to go back to your point of the Steve Kerr point, with him not developing, and I agree with it. I agree with Steve Kerr not developing right. Steve Kerr, is a coach that he's very lenient. I'll use that word. He lets the players do what they want to do. He lets Steph wants to do this today. Let's do what Steph wants to do. Okay, KD wants to do this. That's how Steve Kerr, and that's his coaching style. There was never a time though where he put his foot down.
Right,
That's the
right,
problem is.
right.
Steve Kerr doesn't put his foot down. He lets it go. And that's a problem I have with that. And development, Jonathan Kuminga, that's a person I would like to talk about. Jonathan Kuminga could be a star, athletic. He can shoot, defensive guru. He could be a top player in this league, but he's not developed. He's not developed and he's not shaped well. And I don't think Golden State is his way to go to continue on with his NBA career. I think he needs to leave and go find a better team to develop him. At his size and his athletic ability, he could be a top 25 player in this league 1000% if he's developed correctly. Now to go back to your 76ers comment about Klay Thompson, I could see that happening. One of two ways, the Sixers not a great 3-point shooting team. I don't think you guys are a great 3-point shooting team. I mean, Joe is another factor. He's been having a great stat line past 15 games, putting up 40 plus, 30 plus, 50 plus numbers. I mean, that's pretty great for him. Tyrese Maxey, a guy I really love, that's one of my favorite guards in the Eastern Conference alongside Jalen Brunson. Adding on Klay Thompson as a stretch to spread the floor, that is a guy that I think will definitely change the ways of the Philadelphia 76ers basketball, and it's going to make definitely your team a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? More
Yes,
lethal on offense.
just think about it.
I think that will
Clay
probably change it. And
in Philadelphia. Oof. You're bringing a Hall of Fame.
that's going to be a team to be tough.
I think Clay would benefit in playing the Sixers. And one, the pressure, he wouldn't have any pressure. There wouldn't be a lot of pressure on him to shoot lights out every game. Um, but another player I think should be also be traded is Draymond. And I think this is interesting. This is interesting. I think Draymond should be traded. He could be or should be traded to the Mavericks. Now,
I did see some reports about that, but I think it was time for Draymond to say it's done with basketball. I don't like how Adam Silver, it was a rumor that he talked Draymond back into the league. I don't think that should have been done. I think it's time for Draymond to call it. I think it's time for him to call it because this is a consistent occurrence with Draymond Green. Draymond's not like how he used to be. I mean, he's a great teammate, great mentor, but it's time to let it go. It's time. And going to the Mavericks don't need him. They got Grant Williams down there. What else is there today? The Mavericks don't even need that at all. They need defense in the perimeter. You got Kyrie and Luka who both can't play defense.
that's true.
You
That's
need perimeter defense.
But just think
And
about,
Draymond,
Draymond. I mean, what's crazy was Adam Silver asking him to not retire because
hmm
it's just funny how he would ask not to retire because Draymond is so crazy. But think about
hmm
the Mavericks could use a guy like Draymond. Yes, they have Grant Williams, who's as a really good role player, but Draymond would add that fire and that leadership and that amazing defense to an art to Luke, and think about it, he would set up Luca and Kyrie so beautifully. Like
but
he would
then
set
still
up
you'll be back at the same problem you're at though.
he
There's no defense with
the
the.
only negative aspect to this is locker room issue. Can Kyrie and Draymond be
hmm
mates? Right? But is he gonna always cost you with ejections and technical fouls and whatnot? But make no
Lots.
mistake, he would fit with the Mavericks like a glove as terms of his play.
I definitely, I definitely think we could see something. We could see something like that work out, but I don't think too much of it. I think Draymond, it's time to hang up the towel.
Mm.
I think it's time to hang it up. I don't think the Mavericks it will work out over there. I mean, even then, Draymond and Grant Williams, they were beefing in the finals. You know, I think it's time to go, or send him
Who,
to the Hornets, and
no,
he'll crash out over
no,
there.
no.
What
Who
happened?
have beef with Draymond?
Huh? Yeah, who? The whole league had beef with him.
But honestly, I mean, I've heard some people say he should go to the Lakers. No, their spacing would be awful.
Pack him up and send him to the Hornets.
Their spacing would be awful if he went to the Lakers.
The Lakers' spacing is already trash already. I mean,
General, yeah, and if he went to the Lakers,
I don't even want to talk about them right now. They're just
would make it even worse.
that's a topic of discussion. Yeah.
And we will actually talk about the Lakers in a few moments.
hmm
But another team I want to talk about is another Western Conference team, the Phoenix Suns. My goodness, they also don't look that great. Um, they made a couple of big time splasher trades, Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. What's interesting, I know you have some DMV connections with Bradley Beal, but um,
and KD.
yes, and Katie. But Kevin Durant, the reason why I think their team isn't that great right now is because of the trade with KD. Because that KD trade, they gave up literally like majority of their lineup and their role players and their rotational pieces. And the Bradley Beal trade, they didn't give up a lot because they gave up like a CP3 and Landry Shamet, but
Oh my goodness.
second round draft picks, and he wanted to go to the Phoenix. But Bradley Beal, it took him like 2 months to play like 4 games. Um, and
That's the thing.
they just don't have the depth. I mean, you can't rely on Grayson Allen
hmm
to be your only good role player. You can't rely on
Facts.
what's his face? Oh my gosh, Eric Gordon to be your. And he don't even play that much either. Um,
hmm
I mean, I do like Nurkic is solid, but he's not like
Game on.
he's always like he's always injury prone.
yeah.
Can you rely on him to stay healthy all the time? I was hearing talks about the Suns having the best lineup in the NBA, but I don't know when they talking about, oh well, the Suns have one of the best lineups in the NBA. When did Bradley Beal become like this amazing guy to be considered to be an amazing player, elite player, to be called big?
hmm
Because yeah, they're like, oh well, he scored a lot of points for the Wizards. He was playing for the Wizards. Like who else?
hmm Exactly.
Who else gonna be scoring points for them? Like congratulations, you averaged 30 for the Wizards. Like you know what I'm saying? Like um,
Yeah.
I mean Bradley Beal, they kind of couldn't not have traded for him because he wanted to play for the Suns because he had
hmm
no trade clause, which was crazy for the Wizards to even put that guy on a no trade clause. He's not even on tier 2 level for me. Um, and the Suns just don't have the depth. They don't have the pieces, and they tried to do it in the offseason, trying to get these rotational pieces for minimum league contracts, and it's just not going to work out. Josh Okogie is not going to be role player that took you to the finals. Um,
Yep.
the Suns just don't look that great. Um, they're also in the. I think what are they? The playing right now. They're what the ninth or 10th. I know they won last
And
night.
22 and 18, yeah.
22 and
They're
18
like, yeah, that's like, let me see.
with
They're
a
sitting right now the eighth seed. They're eighth seed.
yeah with a KD led team with Devin Booker. That's not good.
That's a problem I had. I knew this was gonna be a problem since the beginning of this started. I mean, Bradley Beal, he made the chance of saying, "Hey, I want to join a super team," and this is not gonna work out. First and foremost, KD made it work out with D Book in the playoffs. Okay, they made it work out. Um, they made it work out in the playoffs of who's the primary ball handler. Didn't go too far. But now you add in a guy like Bradley Beal, who he's coming from a team in Washington who he was the primary ball handler, and he's used to throwing up 30 shots a game. Now you're going to take in the fact of KD wants 35 shots a game. D Book wants 30 shots. That's not enough shots to go around. Teams put up roughly around 90 shots a game. Bradley, KD, and D Book are not putting up all 90 shots. It's just not possible. I mean, you could do that, but you are not winning the basketball game. It's not 3-on-5 basketball. We're playing 5-on-5. And that's how first I knew this was not going to work out. Secondly, where's the defense at? Where is the defense?
Right, right.
Who's playing defense? D Book. D Book is not a great defender. I mean, Bradley Beal's not a great defender. Kevin Durant, okay, Durant's turning into a great defender, you know, but there's no defense. Grayson Allen was your best perimeter defender. I mean, Kobe, he's a great defender, but hey, it's nothing for real. And I definitely don't think the Phoenix Suns are going to go anywhere. I mean, they invested all their cap in three stars who don't even, only one of them have been to as one of them have an NBA championship. D Book, I mean, he hasn't been like himself since that NBA championship run. I mean, the NBA final run. Excuse me. Bradley Beal hasn't even been past the second round of the playoffs. It's
Debo
and
was,
he's
he was
he's
hooping last.
injury pro.
He was hooping last year, but this year I agree.
Luca owns him. Luca owns him.
Yes.
Luca owns him. Bradley Beal is he's not. Bradley Beal thinks he's Bradley Beal back in 2020, that 2019, 2020 when they were comparing him to Steph Curry. What was that, 2019? I think it was like 2020, 2021. That's when Russ was
He
there,
was averaging.
2020 to 2021.
Yes, yes, yes. When they're averaging, he was averaging like 30 points a game. Yep.
And they compared him to Steph Curry, and him and Steph Curry were beefing. That you're not him. You're not no Brad. You're not him. You're playing for the Phoenix Suns. This is number one. You're playing in a whole different conference, different kind of standpoints of how teams play. It's a faster pace than the Eastern Conference. You're not playing for the Washington Wizards where you're jacking up all the shots. You're playing for a team who's not defensive at all, and your head coach is Frank Vogel. That's another bad piece too. Frank Vogel sucks. So you know I don't see this team even going that far. I mean, they got a winning record, yeah, sure, but you're supposed to have a winning record when you have three of the best, three all stars on your team like that. I mean, you look at the Clippers; they have
Oh wow,
three all
the
stars on their
Clippers
team,
are
and they are cooking.
they're really good.
And that's a team I call. I mean, everyone hated on that right there, but I knew that was happening. I mean, they had a rough start,
Yeah,
but look at them now.
they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers are they could have a shot to go to the Western Conference Finals this year, but I think the Suns, um, yeah, they don't look that great. But another breaking news today. I didn't really look at the trade details, but the Pacers got
Oh, the Pascal Siakam.
yep. I think I saw something they traded 3 first round draft picks for him. That's crazy. Um, but the Pacers got Siakam. What are your thoughts? Because how when Halliburton comes back, this is going to be a nice team with pick and roll with the pick and roll. Halliburton's a lead passer.
I know. Bruce Brown was the one that was moved.
Yeah, he got
Um,
to the Raptors, or was it to somebody?
yeah, to the Raptors. He got
Okay.
moved to the Raptors. I think I think this team that it's This Pacers team is just elite. Obi Toppin, you got Pascal Siakam. These taller forwards who've moved like guards is now on this team.
Mm.
This team, this Pacers, who would have thought first and foremost this Pacers team would be like this? That's something I want to get left out. Who would have thought this Pacers team would have been like that?
Mm.
This Pacers team has been absolutely on a fire, and that's in the forefront of Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield. I love it, and I'm all for it. And I think they're gonna play. I think they're gonna be. Hold on one second. And I think they're gonna be an absolute threat. Maybe not this year, but next year, when they get their pieces all glued together,
Right, right.
this team will be a threat. Be best believe Tyrese Halliburton will have this team on. It's just going to be great. And I look at how the Pacers are and how they remind me like the Sacramento Kings. They really do remind me of the Sacramento Kings. And I like both of these teams. They're very young, and they're teams you don't think of that would be like this. You don't think of teams like them having seasons like these. And I do think the Pacers will be a threat. And that's a thing that people haven't said since Lance Stevenson played on the Pacers.
Right. Now, I think the Pacers, honestly, with the Pacers, sorry, give me a second. The Pacers, they can cook anybody on any given night. You've seen it. They've cooked Boston
Mm-hmm.
twice. They cooked the Bucks twice, almost three times. Um, I just, I really do think that with them getting Siakam, their offense goes up, and Siakam can play defense. Remember, the Pacers do not have an amazing defense. They'll score 140, but they'll give up
Mm-hmm.
140. So this
Yep.
bolsters up their defense. Bruce Brown, he's a nice role player, but I don't know if he's
He
up.
had a big. He was huge in the finals. He was huge in the finals.
Yeah,
He had
again,
a bunch of clutch shots in the finals.
yeah. I just, but getting Siakam can bolster their defense a lot. And this is honestly getting a three first round picks is crazy to me. I don't think Siakam worth three first round picks, but he's
I don't think
definitely
so either.
a good rotational piece, or a good starter to have on your team. And the Halliburton pick and rolls are going to be deadly.
Very deadly. But this also makes me now believe with the Toronto Raptors that they've now given up all their pieces, OG Anunoby, to the Knicks.
They're
Now Pascal Siakam,
fire sale.
Fred Van Vliet. This is now a team that's in rebuild mode. Oh my AirPods fell out. This is a team who's in rebuild mode, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think honestly, that the Pacers they're gonna be here for a while. They're one of those young teams that play extremely well. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, let me pause it. Let me pause. You know, back again. We have another topic to talk about. Moving on from the Pacers, um, I got a serious question to ask you. Do you think the Nuggets can repeat? No. Why do you not think the Nuggets can repeat? Interesting. Do you see someone else taking the reins from the Nuggets and potentially making the Western Conference, winning the Western Conference Finals this year? Yes. Yeah, he did. They are playing team. They are playing team. Now, I would tell you that you know there are, every other year is different for the NBA, but the Nuggets have arguably the best player in the world. Yeah, no, yeah, Jokic's numbers are dipped, but they're winning, and Jokic is arguably one of the you could say is the best player in the world. They have one of the best two mans in the game with Jokic and Murray. When they're fully healthy, they can beat anybody. And they're fully healthy. I think they have the best offense in the NBA. Jokic should give you a triple double any night. Um, they have Michael Porter Jr. who can shoot, who's a good wing three player. Um, Aaron Gordon, who's very versatile, and KCP, who's another wing shooter, two way player. And their bench is not bad. Their bench is not bad, but I do kind of agree. I kind of agree with you what you're saying about they could potentially. So there's another team that can take over them, but I just think that they're just too good. Because last year, you look at their playoff run, they steamrolled people. They steam. Okay, I would the T Wolves. Okay, I would give you the T Wolves because they were still trying to figure it out with and Rudy and Anthony Edwards did not play well in that playoffs. Maybe one or two games, but the Sun series. Hold on, the Sun series they steamrolled them. Those two games that they lost in Phoenix were fluke games. Right. Like hamstrings are them. Hamstrings are stopping both of them. Wait, did you say James Harden in the playoffs? James Harden in the playoffs? Oh, hold on. Choked in the playoffs. Houston, the, the one year James Harden did not choke in the playoffs was 2018 when they played the Warriors. The other years they usually won 60 games. CP3 when they had that elite off. Right, right. I agree. I agree. I agree. But that Houston team had two choke artists on that team. Wait, hold on. PG-13. First of all, how do we trust these brothers to stay healthy? How do we trust them to stay? I'm not, I'm not discrediting the Clippers at all. They're playing elite basketball right now. I thought PG played amazing yesterday, but can they stay healthy and can they show up when it matters most? Because the Clippers in the past 5 years have gone all in for championships, and they have only had one conference championship appearance, and their best player didn't play. So honestly, in my opinion, the Clippers, if they want to win the finals, they have to come together because yeah, they're playing excellent basketball right now. But let's not forget, I don't forget those 6 games. They were horrible. Now, I understand they're trying to figure it out. They can go to the Western Finals. I don't disagree with you at all. But can these egos when it the regular season is different from the playoffs? I will wait. Does Bones even play? Norman Powell's a bucket. I agree, but Mason Plumley, he's played well. Who to say the Nuggets bench is not great as too? I great as well. Who, yeah, okay. I agree. Who in the Clippers? Okay, yeah, you're going with matchup. Who in the Clippers are stopping Jokic? Oh, come on, Kawhi, a Hall of Famer, a great defender, but he ain't stopping Jokic. He ain't, he ain't stopping Jokic. Yeah. I think I want to applaud Russ because Russ has played really well off the bench this year. He's playing amazing defense, finding his role beautifully. Paul George, I want to trust. I want to agree with you. I just don't trust these guys when it comes to the playoffs. And PG has been so inconsistent every year. James Harden, he just vanishes in the playoffs. He's one of those guys who's inconsistent when it comes to playoffs. Yeah, for my 76ers last year, yeah, he had 40 in game one. Yeah, he had 40 in what was it? Game four. Yeah, he had 40. But what did he do in game six and seven? 8 points, 7 points. Most can you trust these guys? The only person you can really trust is Kawhi. And can you trust Kawhi to stay healthy? That's all I gotta say. I do agree with you. They're I do think you're right. I would probably go if they don't match up together. If they don't match up each other in the second round, I would choose this as my Western Conference Finals prediction. But I like the Nuggets a lot better. I think they have the better overall best player. They have the better starting lineup. In terms of how well they played together, in terms of chemistry wise, I just have a lot more trust. And you saw what the Nuggets did last year. They just steamrolled people. Was their huh? Their final, their finals run was not challenging at all. When they played the when they played the Lakers, yeah, every game was close, but they won 4 straight games. Every game was close. They won 4 straight games. I don't. I don't think the Thunder are ready. The Thunder are going to be the second round exits. Your ass has got to stop. The Thunder are going to be second round exits. The Thunder. I do. The Thunder. I do. Now, what I'll say about the Thunder is that their time is coming. They're going to be one of those teams that are going to contend every year because of their young core, and they have a top five draft pick for the next 4 or 5 years. But, but I think they're still young. They don't have playoff experience. None of them have any playoff experience except for SGA and that one first round experience that he had against the Clippers. But I don't. Yeah, in that playing tournament, the playing tournament when y'all had that one game against the New Orleans Pelicans, uh, and y'all got by the Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert had 25 on y'all. That's embarrassing. Um, okay, but you still okay, but you still Cat and Rudy Gobert killed them boys, and Mike Conley killed y'all. Moving on to one discussion I want to end off with. Um, my goodness, the Los Angeles Lakers, horrible. I mean, it's honestly appalling how a LeBron James led team looks this bad. They won the in season tournament and they were on a stretch, man. They were losing to teams that they should not have lost to. Darvin Ham needs to understand. He doesn't. It feels like Darvin Ham is overthinking it. He's overthinking it, and the Lakers are gonna try and fill in pieces should they're gonna go in the trade deadline and trade for Dejounte Murray, who I don't think should be traded to the Lakers for, because I don't think it's gonna solve any of your problems at all. I think me personally, I think it starts with the head coach. Darvin Ham needs to figure out what lineups and the lineup, because the lineup is everything. Playing guys on the same court is the most important thing because these guys are playing basketball together. They need to have chemistry. Now, what do you think? The Lakers. Terrible offense. Yeah, I think honestly the Lakers. I don't think any moves are going to save them. I just think that some of these young LeBron has to basically do everything sometimes. And some of these players got to understand that you're playing for an elite organization. You have to show up as well. Some of these players have to understand that they're trying to win a championship here, and they're just not. And I think Bron is just waiting at this point. He's just waiting for Bronny to come to the league. Um, and yeah, so I just honestly just I think the Lakers. Then there's nothing that's going to really gonna save them this year at all. But hey, we will. Right, right. It's it's terrible. Hmm. Right. Shooters. Yeah, need shooters. You say D'Lo is one of those shooters. Yeah. I was one of those people. Just like, oh, oh gosh, spacing. He's not a good shooter, man. Right. Yes, indeed. Well, this was a great episode number three, Jermey's World. Episode three of Jermey's World. Um, you know, we I thought we had a great episode. Had a lot to talk about today. And you know, I'm just we had a lot of discussions, arguments. We had a lot of debates. He talked about the Lions and the Bucks. And got a little bit of his bias, but nonetheless, we want to keep pushing out these episodes. Jeremy is going to be a consistent guest of this show all the time. When the big NBA news or NFL news comes out, we will definitely be talking about it. And yeah, Jeremy, tell us, where are you right now? He is in the 407 Disney World. What? Yes, sir. Has some nice weather out down there? I don't, but nonetheless, we'll catch you guys soon. Catch you guys in the next episode. See you later.